Fiber is traditionally not a macronutrient, but can be considered one because of its fundamental role in our health and metabolism. It is far more important than we've recognized thus far. That's why it's one of the 4 macronutrients that you should follow in your diet. How much and from which sources? Let's dig deeper into that. But first, what is fiber? Fiber is carbohydrate that the human gastrointestinal system cannot absorb. Then what's the point? During millions of years, our intestines have developed a symbiosis with microbes that can and use this fiber as energy. When fiber reaches the end of the intestinal tract called the colon, the bacteria start to break it down and use it as energy. In that same process, bacteria will excrete the short-chain fatty acid called butyrate, an essential energy source for intestinal tract cells. Those cells have developed a need for this butyrate to stay healthy. They can't function without it. In the case of too little fiber and thus too little butyrate for the intestinal membrane cells, the colon wall starts to leak through toxic elements like lipopolysaccharides. It further causes inflammation throughout the whole body. As for butyrate, all of which the intestinal wall cells don't use as energy, it is absorbed into the bloodstream and has many amazing effects on our metabolism and overall health. The second important thing fiber does is that it causes a gel-like mass of the food that goes through our intestinal system. That means that it slows down the absorption of nutrients. For example, the carbohydrates that would naturally absorb in 30 minutes will be stretched out to 2 to 3 hours inside the fiber gel mass. That has at least 2 significant benefits. We won't get blood sugar and insulin spike, and the hunger stays at bay a lot longer. Try it. Eat some fast-absorbing sugar-like candy with, let's say, 300 kilocalorie. On the next day, eat 150 kilocalorie of the same sweets and 150 kilocalorie of vegetables. I predict that you felt hungry and weak after 20 to 30 minutes on the first day, and it took 2 to 3 hours on the second day. The third, maybe the most crucial factor, is the hormonal effect. Did you know that our intestines secretes over 30 different hormones, which are extremely important for our functioning metabolism, keeping hunger at bay, and overall health and well-being up? For example, one of the most important ones is GLP-1 hormone, which levels decline in metabolic syndrome and causes increase in weight gain, hunger, and a role in developing type 2 diabetes. The kind of fiber that doesn't produce a gel-like mass is called insoluble fiber, and it is a type of fiber that affects the intestinal hormone function. So now we've gotten the why out of the way, let's focus on the how. Getting enough high-quality fiber from different sources isn't nearly as hard as you might think. The minimum you should aim for is 25 grams per day. The good thing is that when you follow my instructions on the carbohydrate video, this amount comes automatically. For example, let's say you'll eat 600 grams of mixed vegetables, 1 oatmeal porridge, and 2 loaves of oat bread. You'll get 23 grams of fiber with just 52 grams of overall carbohydrates. That's the reason we started with carbohydrates, and I recommended that you eat mostly fiber-rich carb sources. So, are there any special fiber sources you should consider? Yes, seeds, nuts, fruits, and berries. Of course, they aren't as high in fiber content, but they'll make an excellent addition. Maybe the most important thing to remember is that you get your fibers from different sources. If you only get your fiber from one source, for example, oats, the health and metabolic benefits will be much lower. Remember that different fibers have different duties in our intestines and as food for bacteria. Don't overthink this part. Try to eat a wide range of veggies, whole grains, seeds, and berries. So, this is why and how you should eat fiber-rich foods. If you've eaten very little fiber before and raised those amounts in one day, your stomach may get upset. It is common. Bloating, diarrhea, and lower stomach pains are quite common symptoms. In those cases, it usually goes away over time, or the second option is to lower the fiber content and raise it over time, for example, 15 through 20 grams per day over a month. Then your intestines and its bacteria have time to catch on.